Thank you, Jim. We've got investigator Avery with us now to discuss her latest investigation. It involves, in recent years, how there's been a public push for more transparency and accountability for local police departments, especially in cases where officers use force. But an NBC News review found that the same scrutiny is not so apparent for federal law enforcement agencies or even local officers serving on federal task forces. It's why they built a database of shootings involving federal agents over the last 5 years and partnered with our KXAN investigators like Avery here to dig into the Texas cases. So Avery is here to tell us more about this case and what has been found.
Yeah, Texas was key in this. You know, NBC connected with us because Texas topped the list for the number of shootings from 2018 to 2022. Now, these are shootings that specifically involve federal agents, like you said. So that's agents with the FBI, ATF, DEA, U.S. Marshals. But you also noted there federal task force members. So of the more than 200 shootings they documented in that time period, they noted many got very little public attention. So, for example, one shooting in the database in San Antonio in 2019, NBC said they had to rely on local media reports to get further details into the case, including the fact that right now it remains unclear whether the suspect in that case was killed by a self-inflicted gunshot wound or by law enforcement. Now, that's just one example. But one of the key findings that we focused on in our local version of the story is how many of these agents, or I really should say how few of these agents, faced consequences in the courts following a deadly shooting. In fact, there were only a couple of cases identified in that 5-year period where an on-duty officer faced criminal charges. In the majority of the cases, the shootings were deemed justified, but we wanted to take a closer look at the fact that there's also a strong legal immunity that protects specifically federal agents as well.
So you and the team actually did go back farther, almost a decade, to a time when a local prosecutor actually did try to hold somebody accountable from the federal task force in the courts. Tell us how that ended up.
Right, that case happened right here in Austin. It's one that many here in Austin have heard about. You may remember the Travis County District Attorney's Office took a shooting that involved an APD detective named Charles Kleiner to a grand jury. That grand jury indicted him for manslaughter in the case. Now, his defense eventually got the case moved to federal court because he served on an FBI task force. Now, their main argument was the shooting occurred while Kleiner was carrying out his federal duties on that task force, and also that his actions, they believed, were necessary and proper to carry out his federal duties. Now, the judge in the case ultimately agreed and effectively dismissed the case. Under these long-standing legal precedents, they date back to the 19th century, and they specifically protect federal police work from local prosecution. Now, one of the lead prosecutors in the case at the time in the Travis County District Attorney's Office told us he was really frustrated, feeling like this was a legal no man's land, basically feeling that there had been this local indictment, so there should be some way to pursue this case, but because of these federal protections, there really weren't.
Wow, this is an interesting topic for sure. And we do know that there are different immunity protections for local officers. Tell us how those differ.
Right, Mike. We really don't get into that as much in our investigation, but it's important to note. It's something we heard from the defense. It's something we heard from the prosecution at the time that they had to consider if it had stayed in local state court. It's also something we really talked at length about with former federal judge Lee Yackel. Many people have heard his name, and he was the judge who issued the ruling in this case. Now, he, really pointed to those local immunities that are available. You may have heard of qualified immunity that sometimes extend to officers, but in our story, we're specifically focused on this federal immunity. It is separate, and it protects federal police work, like I said earlier. It's actually rooted in the Constitution. It's under the part of the Constitution that establishes federal law as the supreme law of the land. So it, really trumps conflicting state law. Now, this is where things get interesting. The judge told us that if that were to change, it would actually have to come from lawmakers. Congress would have to change the law and change that immunity that's offered to federal agents. Then the Supreme Court could review that to make sure any changes they made were constitutional. So we reached out to many of our Texas lawmakers on this topic, just to see if it's something that has come up in the past. We only got one response at this point, but we're going to continue to see what lawmakers think about the findings, not only in our report, but in NBC's broader database, which you can explore right now online.
Well, that does, it would be interesting to get the appetite that lawmakers do or don't have for trying to make that sort of a change. And I know you'll keep on top of this. This is our powerhouse investigative journalist, Avery Travis, joining us today. As she said, it is online right now, her story, and you can see the full story as well tonight on KXAN News at 10 o'clock. Thanks for being with us, Avery.
Thanks, Mike.
All right.